Jai Shri Krishna to all. Welcome to Path to Anandam series. And our subject today is power of conscious neutral, which is called Udasinata. Why this subject? Because many times we hear, be positive, don't be negative. And that question always, or those statements always kind of confused me. And not only it confused me, many people ask that question. So this today's topic is based on the question actually came to me as well, which had been my question previously, which finally Bhagavad Gita answered it. So based on that, in Bhagavad Gita, the word Udasin have mentioned several times, especially in chapter 12, where it says, Anipeksha Suchir Daksha Udasino Gatvatha. Udasino. Sarvarambha Parityagi Yomad Bhakta Samepriya. Bhagwanji says, who is priya to me? The people who are, of course, not expecting much, pure, but who are neutral, wise and neutral. So I thought that question to many people have, and as I was not very clear what does Udasin means. Because if you look at the word Udasin, it says Udas. Udas means what? Person who is kind of sad. So that's where I thought I should mention what I have learned from Bhagavad Gita, because our sessions, as I mentioned before, from now on, they are mainly what we have learned from Bhagavad Gita, what we have studied, and how to apply in our daily life to enhance the quality of our life, which means how can we transform ourselves. So based on that, so today's session, Udasinata. What is Udasinata? Conscious neutrality. And how can you differentiate between negativity, positivity, and neutrality? And what does Gita talks about? What are the benefits? And especially from the medical science data shows as well. And how to develop and practice. And of course, Sankalpa. I develop Udasinata. And of our homework and meditation. So what is Udasinata? This is something centralized, as you can see right here, the balance in between. So this is the art of remaining unmoved in a chaos world. In other words, maintaining the balance regardless of external circumstances, positive or negative. Because sometimes we become positive or negative. In other words, we must stay in the middle. So as I showed here, seesaw, it's balanced. Both the sides are equal. And we just sit in the middle. But sometimes if you think about when we go to park and we see the seesaw, one side is up, one side is down. So it's one downside is considered to be negative, other side, upper side seems to be positive. And this is the analogy it gives. But here, basically, it is the spiritual practice. See, whatever mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, they all give us the path to higher self and considered to be spiritual practices. and key to spiritual growth. So this is an essential tool for our inner peace and strength. And actually, it is a hidden power of non-attachment. Because once we come to that level, we kind of learn to let go in a spiritual way. So basically, Udasinata, it is an emotional stability. Stay calm in tough situations. Because Bhagwan Ji says, that person is very dear to me. And by keeping the balance, we actually feel very inner peace as well. So here I prepare this came from Excel sheet, the chart. What is negativity and positivity and how it compares with Udasinata, which is also known as equanimity in Bhagavad Gita as well. But it's the middle part. So negativity focuses on worse outcome, blaming, fearful, ye ho jayega, wo ho jayega, just giving the justification and reacting very stressful and be very defensive and very pessimistic. If you talk to people who are negative, they're very pessimistic. Every comment they will make, they're full of negativity. They have basically hopeless and very high expectations. And what happens? It affects their physical health. It increases the cortisol, blood pressure, all kind of diseases are related to high blood pressure, as we know, and the cortisols, the nervousness, stressful situation. So basically, they are very kind of ignorant people, tamasic people considered to be. And most of the time they're angry, etc. But at the same time, here the positive people are opposite of that. They focus only on the best outcome. They're very hopeful, very excited, but they're attached to the outcome. And sometimes overconfidence, which causes very unrealistic expectations. They're not realistic people. Sometimes they're just too much positivity. And it could be burnout for them, for a stressful situation for them too, because they feel very stressed as well, because they're rajasic people, focus too much on action and passion and denial. Sab theek ho jayega, which is good, but it's again, warning is unrealistic expectations. And they both are in the duality, I-ness and my-ness, mera. But at the same time, Udasinata, which is the neutral stage, being stable and unaffected but they're aware of it. They're calm, composed, peaceful, and their expectations are very little. And of course, their stress is low, their cortisol is low, their blood pressure is normal, so that physically they are better, more healthy. And they're sattvic people, more pure. So sometimes it happens, this is basically a dispassion with compassion. So it's not like they say, let go. Carelessness nahi hai. They know, it says awareness. With awareness, they are at that stage. And this is the ideal path for yogis and karma yogis. So in summary, negativity versus positivity versus Udasinata. Negativity, fearful, anxiety, reactive and pessimistic. Positive, very hopeful, but attached, sometimes unrealistic. And Udasinata, awareness, engaged but unattached, centralized होते हैं. So negativity and positivity are both their duality. Me and you, always looking for separations, not union. On other hand, Udasinata, it helps us to transcend because it's a sattvic level. So Udasinata is a state of centralized, balanced, calm mind with wise detachment. Wise detachment, not apathy. Udasi se nahi, carelessness nahi, कि let go, चलता है. Not. It is a compassionate neutrality, but rooted in awareness. They do it everything in awareness, not ignorance. And again, I thought further I should explain here what is a regular neutrality versus a spiritual neutrality. This is more like a neutrality. Sometimes it relates to the indifference, coldness, depression होता है, उदासी होती है. That is a sometimes जो neutral उनको कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता, they just careless. On the other hand, the spiritual neutrality, जिसमें भगवान जी, जिसमें गीता, उदासीनता, उसमें they are not emotionally possessive. They're calm but fully aware. They're grounded in self-knowledge and dharma. And they are fully engaged but not entangled. So they know what they're doing, not they just get tangled, ho gaya, nahi hua, aisa nahi, because they're very wise people. On other hand, regular neutrality जो है, उसमें sometimes they are spiritual, sometimes they're not, they are withdrawn. Basically, they withdrawn from the things. So basically, this is driven by, neutrality is driven by apathy, depression, anxiety, anger, very indecisive. And maybe they don't even believe in Bhagavad Gita's teachings. But on the other hand, spiritual neutrality, udasinta, wisdom and inner peace, that they do it for inner peace because they know when to be negative and when to be positive, but they stay in the middle. And these are the true signs of true yogi. They are free from anger, anxiety, worldly possessions, I-ness, minus, and focus on the supreme power. So why practice? What are the benefits by practicing it? Because it's a beneficiary for our physical body, mind, and connection to soul. So it lowers the cortisol stress level, and it shows in Harvard study there is a publication, several publications related to that. And it improves the heart rates and blood pressure. Again, American Journal of and the Association of human they look at the blood pressures, and I mean it's a humanity, more of the American Association of Humanity, and they boosts the emotional regulation, which came from Yale University. The studies was done in Stanford. They also found it supports the brain part. Neurotransmissions are more aligned. So basically, the brain support the brain health and slow aging. Also, the study was done in UCLA. The aging was slow, and there is a medical. I mean, there is some medical terms here like telomere shortening, etc. These are more related to the basic study, but they have done these studies, and also enhances resilient to stress, and means they are not prone to stress. They are more relaxed. It promotes balanced relationship. So they have a good relationship because they know they live in awareness, and they know They're very realistic, not over positive or not over negative. They are right in the middle. So they are more balanced. And it builds inner peace and clarity. In other words, healthy body, peaceful mind, and then connection to the soul. In other words, ultimate union of body, mind, and soul, and experience our true nature, that I am Chit Ananda, because we experience the ultimate peace, the supreme peace, which is another name for Chit Ananda. So again, coming back to how to practice it. Bhagavad Gita gives here the same verse. Anipeksha suchi dakshe udasino gatata sarvarambha parityagi yomad bhakta samay priya. So become beloved of supreme power. He says twice, full formulas are here. Yona shochati na kanchti, yona harshti na dveshti. Shubha Shubha Parityagi Bhakti Mane Samay Priya. One who has no expectations means detached, pure, wise, jnani, neutral, and free from anxiety, who has renounced the feeling of doership in all undertakings, such as devotee is dear to me, one who neither rejoices nor hates, neither grieves nor desires, who has renounced both the good and the evil and is full of devotion, is dear to me. So basically saying anxiety, stress, which we already talked about, doership, I-ness and minus, too many desires, living in ignorance. This is all eliminated by studying Bhagavad Gita. And these are the practical tips and guidelines, not just to become dear to God, but all the time living in consciousness. So we don't have to wait until we die and then become dear to God. We can live in every moment, nitya yukta upaste. So how to develop? Again, yukta ahar viharasya, yukta chetasya karmasu, yukta swapna bodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. One who is disciplined and moderate. Again, the moderation comes here, Udasinata. Balance his eating, his creation and his working, sleeping, working for, and for him, the yoga becomes the destroyer of all his pains and miseries. What is yoga? Connection with supreme power. So in the middle, the balance, here balance. So how to do it? Sometimes situation comes and we forget all these things. So simple tips. Pause and observe before reaching. Become sakshi, witness. Breathe deeply during emotional triggers. This is even now is being taught, this breathe deeply in the kindergartens here. Witness, again, be sakshi without judging. And take a book, write down what is bothering me and let go. And yoga, pranayama, meditation, and then affirmation, which we use it as a sankalpa. I'm not the emotion, I am the sakshi witness. So it again, all these teachings have been put together in the form of planner. Practice to develop conscious neutrality. And again, you are very familiar with this. The right practice makes one perfect. And the teachings from Bhagavad Gita, bringing in daily life, cannot be better practice. and live in awareness. Know what I need to improve upon and how am I going to do it. And these sessions are all reminders and also include the action. And these are the actions. Sakshi, witness, live in awareness. And with the starting your day with reading the messages from Bhagavad Gita, Om Mantra, Guru Granth Sahib, Ramayana, whatever resonates with you, whatever you are used to, whatever gives you the smile on your face and brings you the peace in you. And then at least read one message per day and then practice pranayam, yoga, Surya Namaskar, meditation, and during the day watch all of our senses are your senses. Make a best use of the senses and have a balanced life. And consciously, I speak with conscious neutrality. Udasinata, not very negative, not very unrealistically positive. So here, very first session, we had it awareness. And then last session was samvad. Listen actively and discuss wisely. And today it's Udasinata. By learning all this, we transform because the planner for self-transformation and we eternal happiness, peace, Anandam, and experience Chit Ananda. So continue to practice and during the day and in the evening, just evaluate what did I do? How was my day? How was my practice? And sometimes we forget, that's okay. Pray to God for giving us better practice, more practice next day. And thank God for having a wonderful day. And let go, let go, let go. With meditation, Sarva Dharman Paritajyam Mamekam Sharanam Braj. Aham Tvam Sarpapebhyo Moksha Shami Mataji. Just before going to bed, these are our, God reminds us, Sri Krishna Bhagwanji reminds us, don't worry, just come, relax, sleep well, because I'm there. So our homework is be Sakshi, live in awareness, and ask yourself, is my attitude negative, blaming, or unrealistic, positive? Is my attitude more balanced, neutral? Am I detached and calm? Do I do my daily practices? And actually this detachment and this Udasinata, if you look at Jainism, it is there in Buddhism, in every religion, even Christianity. They all refer to this. And it all comes from Bhagavad Gita. So again, self-inquiry is the key. We should not think that this is the weakness of questioning ourselves, but this is the path to self-improvement to the higher level where our wellness, connection to Supreme. So mind, body, and soul is all connected. But we have to make sure we witness and continue to practice. As Vivekananda said, arise, awake, stop not until goal is reached. So our sankalpa, I develop Udasinata and live happy, healthy, and peaceful life and experience Chit Ananda. So our sankalpa, again, sankalpa bhavan, kamasya tattva, not for the worldly desires, because kamasya tattva means detachment. Let go of unnecessary desires. And then control our senses. make a best use of our senses and think nothing else, then little by little, we transform our mind. Here you can see change state of conscious mind, our subconscious mind, which has a lot of pre-programming. I call it a lot of garbage in it. It leads to the superconscious mind. In other words, it purifies. But we have to practice all this, where it says, Atma Sansar Manaktakvana Kinchita Pichinte. Don't think about anything else. Don't put more garbage in the mind and conscious, which will go into conscious mind. Our focus, our sankalpa should be that whatever is in our subconscious mind, we're going to replace it with supreme powers messages, Bhagavad Gita's teachings, and learn and practice and apply in our daily life. So thank you very much for attending the session. Power of conscious, neutral, which is called in Bhagavad Gita, or which is called Udasinata. Udasin. So thank you.